To start with background on the philosophy of the period, the philosophical background that Voltaire and some of our other authors are going to be looking at. So we're going to start with a few questions that you can follow through Voltaire, Flaubert, when we get to Madame Bovary, and again I remind everyone that you should start working on Flaubert's Madame Bovary as soon as possible so that you're not bogging down mid-semester with the whole novel. But Voltaire, Flaubert, also a French author, and Dostoevsky and Faulkner when we get to Faulkner. So these questions you can follow through all of these authors. How does each explain the presence of evil? How does each explain the presence of evil? The presence of evil in a world created by an omnipotent, omniscient, and benevolent God. An omnipotent, omniscient, and benevolent God. Okay? Omnipotent means what?
All-knowing?
Omniscient is all-knowing. Okay. How about omnipotent?
Powerful.
All-powerful. All-powerful. And how about benevolent? Bene. Molto bene. Kind. A loving God.
All loving.
A benefactor, bene means good. Bene means like a benefactor, gives good things, does good deeds. Benevolent, okay? So, the question actually that is posed here is a philosophical question that has been raised for centuries. And it is called, I mean, it's got a whole name. I mean, it's, you know, there's a word to actually describe this question, and the topic is theodicy. T-H-E-O, D-I-C-Y. Theodicy. Not the Odyssey, which you would have read here in 101, but theodicy. That whole question of the problem of evil. Where does evil come from, and why do we suffer if God loves us and can control things and knows all about these things? That's the question. And it's the question of theodicy. So you wanted to look in other directions for more information about this question. You could look at, for instance, the book of Job in the Bible. Why does Job suffer? You could also look at a book by a guy named Elie Wiesel. E-L-I-E, yeah. And here we go with that German stuff again. I-E-S-E-L has a book called Night. It's about his experience in the Holocaust. We are just coming up to September 11th, the anniversary of September 11th. We've also seen tsunamis, earthquakes, hurricanes. We've got Katrina. Ivan. We've got all these things that you can think about. Why does this happen? A book that I particularly like, I'm teaching a course on suffering right now, an upper level course on suffering. And a really good book that I found is by a guy named David Bentley Hart. Unless you're really good at philosophy, you probably don't want to read anything else by him, but this one's a pretty easy read. It's called Where Was God in the Tsunami? I think it's Doors or Door to the Sea. Where was God in the tsunami? I'm not sure which part comes first. Where was God in the tsunami? Door to the sea. No, it's got to be Door to the Sea. Where was God in the tsunami? But it's a really good, it's a good response to all of the people who offer real trite, you know, it's like, oh, they're better off now because they're not wherever they were when they got hit by the tsunami or whatever. It's a really good Christian look, but it's also got depth, so that you're not just kind of giving pat answers, that sort of thing. It's a good theological reflection. This is contemporary. The guy's still alive, and he's a really good philosopher. But okay, this is one question. If you wanted to explore this question of what does Voltaire think, or what does Flaubert think of the presence of evil, that sort of thing, that can make an interesting research paper topic. What does the author think about this? Not what do you think about it, but what does the author think, and how do you prove it through the text? Also, another question that we might follow through is to know about what philosophic or scientific determinism is. Okay? We want to be able to talk about philosophic optimism, and scientific determinism. Okay. If you remember, we've been talking about that with Alexander Pope. We had entered that neoclassical stage. We're now in the neoclassical, or we're into the Enlightenment. People are moving toward having a greater appreciation of science. Okay? There's more of an emphasis on science, an emphasis on reason. And people are moving, it's not so much, oh, like the Middle Ages. My faith tells me this, so this is what I'll do. Everybody kind of believed that the earth moved because God moved it in the Middle Ages. By the time you get to the age of reason, the Enlightenment, it's, no, there's gravity involved, there's you know, the scientific forces are making things happen, and we can explain things scientifically. Now that scientific explanation, yeah, it works for explaining why water runs downhill or apples fall out of trees onto Newton's head or whatever. But it starts going over into the world of morals, okay? So if we can scientifically explain why the sun sets when it does and things like that, maybe we can also scientifically explain about why people act badly, why some people seem to be more virtuous than others. And these things are kind of beginning to get mixed together. So we then are going to talk about our friend named Leibniz. Or maybe he's not our friend. Leibniz believed, okay? Leibniz believed, pardon? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't write it up here at any point, did I? Okay, let's do that. All right, I'll give you his whole name. It's Gottfried, which is Gott with 2 T's, and then Fried. Gottfried Wilhelm and Leibniz, L-E-I-B-N-I-Z. Okay, Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz. He was born in Leipzig. You don't need to know that part, but he was born in 1649, and it helps to know that, just to kind of know when we're putting him in history. He developed calculus within a few years of Newton. Okay. And it's not real clear who, I don't remember who developed it first, but whoever developed it first got it published second or whatever. So Newton and Leibniz both developed calculus at about the same time. And think about this. Okay, think about love. Love, marriage is what brings us together today, right?
Marriage.
Marriage is what brings us together today. You know that, couldn't you?
Princess Bride.
Yes, Princess Bride. Okay, that would be worth watching. And love, right? So think about love. Okay, has anyone in here ever been in love?
Yes.
Oh, I got one yes. Oh, I got it. Okay, 2 people. This is definitely the fall semester in the spring. Every moment is that. So true. Maybe we should have an online, like, get to know each other forum. All right, you have been in love. Now,